Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on the Mern stack, a powerful and popular full-stack JavaScript framework used to build modern web applications. My name is Akshay Anand, and in this session, we will take a simple yet detailed look at how the Mern stack works, why it is so widely used, and how its different technologies come together to create dynamic real-time web apps. Whether you are just starting out in web development or already have some idea of what Mern stack is, this video will guide you through both the fundamentals and some intermediate level insights. By the end, you will have a clear understanding of what makes Mern stack a top choice for developers, and you will be ready to start building your own full stack apps. So let's get started. This is Introduction to Mern stack, full stack JavaScript for modern web development. The Mern stack is a set of 4 powerful technologies that work together to build full stack web applications, meaning both the front end and the back end are handled using a single language, JavaScript. The acronym Mern stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. MongoDB is a NoSQL document-based database used to store data in a flexible JSON-like format. Express.js is a lightweight web framework that runs on Node.js used to build APIs and handle server-side logic. React.js is a front-end JavaScript library for building dynamic user interfaces using reusable components. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime that allows us to run JavaScript code on the server outside the browser. The beauty of Mern stack is that JavaScript is used throughout the entire stack, from database operations to server-side logic to the user interface. This makes development more consistent, efficient, and easier to manage for full-stack developers. If you are already familiar with the JavaScript, Mern is a natural next step to becoming a full-stack developer. So now you may be thinking, why is the Mern stack so popular among developers today? Let's break down the key reasons. One of the biggest advantages is that the entire stack uses JavaScript, from the browser to the database. This makes it easier to learn, reduces context switching, and allows developers to work on both front-end and back-end using the same skill set. It provides fast development cycle and large ecosystem. Thanks to a huge number of open source libraries and tools in the JavaScript ecosystem, Mern projects can be built and iterated quickly. You can find solutions for almost any problem, from routing to authentication to UI design. There is JSON everywhere. MongoDB stores data in a format that is very similar to JSON. And since JavaScript also uses JSON, data flows smoothly from front-end to back-end to the database, with very less conversion needed. There is modular architecture and scalability. Each part of the stack is modular and can be scaled independently. This makes Mern ideal for building both small MVPs and large enterprise-level applications. There is strong community support. All 4 technologies, MongoDB, Express, React, and Node, have large communities and are backed by companies like Meta and MongoDB. This means better support, regular updates, and more job opportunities. In short, Mern offers speed, simplicity, and flexibility, all of which makes it a top choice for full-stack JavaScript development. Okay, let's now understand how the different parts of the Mern stack interact with each other in a real-world application. This diagram shows the high-level architecture of a Mern stack application. On the front end, we have React.js. This is what user interacts with: buttons, forms, pages, and so on. When the user takes an action, like submitting a form, React sends a request to the backend using tools like Axios or the Fetch API. Now talking about server side, that is Node plus Express, that request hits the Node.js server, where Express.js handles the routing and any logic like authentication, validation, or business rules. Express also acts as a middle layer. It connects the front end to the database. Now talking about the database, the data is then stored or retrieved from MongoDB, which is a NoSQL document-based database that stores data in a JSON-like format, perfect for JavaScript-based apps. Then we have response back to the client. Once MongoDB sends the response, Express processes it, and the React frontend updates dynamically, giving the user a seamless real-time experience. There are middlewares. Between these layers, we can also plug in middlewares for things like authentication, input validation, error logging, or even request throttling. This structure makes Mern highly modular, clean, and scalable, and it reflects how modern production-ready web apps are built today. Now let's start with the front-end part of the Mern stack, that is React.js. React is a JavaScript library developed by Meta that is used for building fast, dynamic, and responsive user interfaces. It is component-based and reusable. At the core of React is the idea of components. Think of components as Lego blocks, small reusable pieces that come together to build an entire UI. For example, a button, a form, a card, or even a whole page each can be a component. React uses something called the virtual DOM, which allows it to detect exactly what has changed in the UI and then update only that part instead of re-rendering the whole page. This makes your app feel snappy and efficient. Now let's talk about hooks. Modern React apps make heavy uses of hooks. They are special functions that let you use features like state and lifecycle methods in a functional component. Use state is one of them. It lets you manage local state. Use effect handles side effects like API calls or DOM updates. You can even create your own custom hooks to reuse logic across components. Single page apps in React do not reload the browser page when moving between sections. Instead, we use React Router to create dynamic navigation, so page load instantly without full refreshes. Data fetching. React works great with tools like Axios or the native fetch API to connect with the backend, like your Node or Express server, and dynamically displays data in the UI. Overall, React makes the frontend modular, fast, and interactive, which is why it is so widely adopted in modern web development. Now that we have discussed what React is and how it works, let's see how to actually create a React project from scratch using a modern build tool called Pvt. I have opened up Visual Studio Code, which is one of the most popular code editors for web development. Now I will open the integrated terminal by clicking on Terminal, New Terminal, or you can simply press Ctrl plus backtick. Let's now create a new React app using Pvt. Pvt is fast, lightweight, and widely used in 2025 for React development. So I will type the following command: npm create Pvt@latest. This command uses the latest version of Pvt to generate a new project. After hitting enter, Pvt will prompt us with a few questions. First, it will ask for the project name. I will just type something like my React app and press enter. Then it will ask to select a framework. I will choose React. Next, it will ask whether we want to use JavaScript or TypeScript. For this demo, I will go with JavaScript, which is simpler for beginners. Once it is done, Pvt will create a new folder with the project structure inside. Let's go into that folder using cd my React app. Now we have to install the dependencies by running npm install or just simply npm I. This will install React, React DOM, Pvt, and all other necessary packages. This process usually takes time depending on your internet connection, so we will wait for a while. So it is done. Finally, to run the development server and launch the app in the browser, I will run npm run dev. This starts a local development server, usually at the system localhost at port 5173, and opens the app in the browser. we can control and click on the link to open it in the browser. And just like that, we have a working React app scaffolded using Pvt. From here, we can start building components, adding pages, connecting it to our backend, and more, all within the Mern stack workflow. Let's now have a quick look at the folder structure of the React app we just created. At the top, we have the public folder. This contains static assets like images and the fav icon. Next is the src folder, where all your actual React code lives. Inside, you will see main.jsx, which is the entry point of the app, and app.jsx, which is your root component. There is also a vt.config.js file. This is where you can configure Vt specific settings. The package.json handles project dependencies and scripts, and node modules contains all the installed packages. This structure is minimal and optimized for fast development with Vt. Node.js is a fast and powerful backend runtime that lets you run JavaScript on the server side. It is event-driven and uses non-blocking input-output, which means it can handle many tasks at once without slowing down. Node.js is built on Chrome's V8 engine, so it compiles JavaScript directly into machine code for top performance. With its massive NPM package ecosystem, you get access to thousands of ready-made libraries that help you build faster and smarter. It is the perfect choice for creating APIs and real-time features like chat apps, notifications, or live updates. And now, here you can see the folder structure of a full-stack Mern application. Now let's talk about Express.js, the server framework we will be using. Express is lightweight and minimal but highly extendable. It helps you structure your backend by organizing routes, middlewares, and request handlers in a clean and scalable way. It is perfect for building RESTful APIs and works seamlessly with tools like Mongoose for MongoDB, JWT for authentication, and bcrypt for password hashing. In short, Express is the backbone of the Node.js server in our Mern stack. MongoDB is a NoSQL database that stores data in a flexible, document-oriented format. Instead of tables and rows, it uses collections that hold JSON-like documents, making it easy to work with real-world data. It is schema flexible, so you can evolve your data structure as your app grows. No need for complex migrations. With Mongoose, you can define schemas, add validations, and even run hooks to control data flow in your Node.js apps. MongoDB also supports auto-sharding and high availability, which means it can scale easily and stay reliable even with large amounts of data. A typical Mern development workflow starts by defining your data models using Mongoose schemas. Next, you build out your API endpoints with Express routes which connect your backend to the outside world. Then, you link your React frontend to the backend using tools like Axios or the Fetch API to send and receive data. To keep everything organized on the front end, you manage the application state using React's built-in state or libraries like Redux. And just like that, your full stack app is ready to go. When it comes to authentication and security, the Mern stack gives you powerful tools that are lightweight and minimal yet easy to extend as your app grows. You can neatly organize your routes, middleware, and request handlers, keeping your code clean and manageable. It is a great setup for building RESTful APIs with secure access control. And the best part, it integrates smoothly with tools like Mongoose for database models, JWT for token-based authentication, and bcrypt for safely hashing passwords. In a Mern stack project, developers often use a set of helpful tools and libraries to speed things up. On the front end, you will commonly see React Router for navigation, Redux for state management, Material UI for styling, and Axios or hooks for handling data. On the back end, popular choices include Mongoose for database interaction, JWT and bcrypt for authentication, .env for environment variables, and Course or NodeMailer for added functionality. For development, tools like Git, ESLint, Prettier, VS Code, and Postman helps keep the code clean and workflow smooth. And for deployment, platforms like Vercel, Netlify, Heroku, Render, and MongoDB Atlas makes it easy to take your app live. Let's look at a practical use case. An order management app built with the Mern stack. It starts with full CRUD functionality for orders, so user can create, update, view or delete orders easily. There is user login with role-based UI, which means regular users and admins see different interfaces based on their access. An admin dashboard gives a quick overview of orders, users, and system activity. You can also upload files like receipts or product images using tools like Multer and Cloudinary. And of course, the entire app is fully responsive thanks to Material UI, making it look great on any device. When it comes to deployment, a good strategy keeps everything running smooth and connected. The front end is usually deployed on platforms like Vercel or Netlify with automatic deployments straight from your Git repo. For the backend, services like Render or Heroku are great for hosting your Node.js API endpoints. The MongoDB database is hosted on the cloud using MongoDB Atlas, giving you scalability and reliability out of the box. To keep your configurations secure, use environment variables with .env files. And do not forget to enable cores so your front end and back end can talk to each other without any issues. To wrap things up, the Mern stack gives you the full power of JavaScript across the entire stack. It is ideal for rapid prototyping and building scalable applications quickly. You get reusable front-end components with React combined with a solid backend using Node, Express, and MongoDB. Whether you are building an MVP, a dashboard, or a single-page app, Mern is a great fit. If you got any queries, feel free to ask. Thank you for watching. Hope you found this session helpful and inspiring. Keep building, keep experimenting, and happy coding with the Mern stack.